You think I can get away with chewing gum without anybody knowing?
Let's try it and see.
Okay. It's a Nashville station, they'll think it's
That's right.
tobacco.
That's right. Tell me you
Okay,
got a
give
you
me
got
a
a chow.
chow.
Give me a chow.
Give me some dip anyway.
2, 1.
Let's start out with an easy question, Bill. If someone was to force you to go back to grade school, but this time you got to give yourself your own grades, give me grades in the following categories. Neatness.
I feel like Miss America.
Are there any nude pictures? But anyway, we'll go to that in a minute. Neatness.
Neatness, I would say D.
Effort.
I would say D.
Conduct.
I would say D minus.
Study habits.
I would say D.
Getting along with people.
I'd say I gave myself a B because I probably wouldn't get along with a teacher.
Ambition.
I give myself an A.
And what would they put in the comments section they used to like to write?
Needs to practice self-control. That's what they always put. 8 years of school in grade school. Does
Well,
not practice self-control.
What does Homer think about all this stardom of his daddy? Is he into that yet?
No, he's not into it. Not into it. He knows the Ghostbusters song, and he knows what I look like on TV, and he knows Dan. There's Dan. And Huck, Hale Ramis. He knows Huck. And then sometimes he just looks and goes, there he is. And it's somebody we know, I don't know.
Is your wife handling the ghost busting and the
No.
serious Larry Darrell very well?
Oh, no, no, no. It's been a sort of a landslide. So, you know, here it comes. So,
Well, let's get into Larry Darrell real quick.
Bro, deep.
A lot of comics are like Larry Darrell, or at least the ones that you'd say you've met in your lifetime. There are a lot of Larry Darrells out there in the world of comedy, aren't there?
oh, I don't know if there are as many as people say. I know that sort of harlequin, sort of, what's his name, Pantalone or whatever, you know, that French fellow, the clown. I don't think there's as many as people think. I think that's sort of that's an idea. There's a place for it, and it's an explanation, but I don't think there are that many.
But most comedians, including yourself, are not always doing this to the camera all the time.
Oh, yeah, well, most of them are miserable most of the time, as near as I can tell. But then almost everybody seems to be in some sort of pain, you know, just kind of wondering why things aren't a little better all day long.
The other night at the film, you gave us a little disclaimer and gave us a little pep talk before we watched the film. Can you do that for the folks real quick? I think it's almost necessary before you go into this,
Well,
considering most of them have just walked out of Ghostbusters and they're going to walk right into another Bill Murray film. And
well, The Razor's Edge is a serious movie. It's about life. There's funny things in it, and you can laugh. There are a lot of things to laugh at in the movie. But it's basically a drama, and it's a serious story, and if you don't want to see a serious story, you shouldn't go and see it. I don't want to disappoint anybody. If you're looking for a comedy, you should just go see Ghostbusters. That's
okay.
pretty easy. But The Razor's Edge is a movie. It's a different kind of old-fashioned movie where it just something happens to you when you go in and see it. Something stirs you up, makes you think a little bit, makes you feel.
I really liked your brother in the movie. I'd like to have seen
Right.
more of him. Sorry he got killed off early in the
I
film.
had to
but-
kill him off. That was sweet, really. I mean, if you don't really get to kill your brother off or rough him up, you can kill him off in film, which is nice. Well, it was good for him, though. He didn't have to work so much. And he got to look real bad, too, so he could stay up all night. He loved that job.
I read about you when you were growing up in Chicago, roaming around the streets all night. Did you really jump out in front of cars and try to get them to take you home? Or was that something you were making up?
See, you Nashville people, you don't understand this whole snow premise.
What is snow?
Yeah, right. No, it snows in Nashville. I read about it once. But in Chicago, at night, it's in January, it spends about a week like 20 below zero sometimes. And if you're walking in Chicago in the snow, there's no place, and you don't have any money, although the people that are driving down the streets are nuts and cops. And so you just jump in front of the car and say, you're giving me a ride, you know. They're so glad you're not going to hit them that they can let you in. You know, the cops are sort of shaken that you've attacked them, but they let you in and drive you wherever you're going.
Do you and Danny do that now when you're in New York for a diversion?
Yeah, we jump in front of cars still, just for fun. We don't even want rides anymore. No, we just want to see how close you can get. Thank you. No, in New York they don't really stop anymore. It's kind of a, it's a little more exciting in the street in New York. Trying to
If
get
you were having to
excited.
do drama, every film or every piece of work, that would wear you out and change your personality probably, wouldn't
Me personally or anybody?
it? You, personally.
Well, I suppose if you started selling Bibles door to door, it'd wear you out too. You'd have to say, I had a friend who sold Bibles in Kentucky, and he couldn't do it anymore because he'd have to go collect. He'd give the Bible on demand, and then he'd have to go collect and say, "No money, huh? Well, I like these handmade lace curtains here," and he'd get up on a chair and start to take them down. That kind of stuff wears you out after a while. I don't know. It doesn't wear me out. I think I'm just worn out anyway. I'm wearing out in like strange places. Like my temples are getting real thin right here. I feel like there's air coming through all of a sudden.
On this story they're going to see with you, they're going to see you in a beard during one little portion. Why'd you grow this beard? What was that for? It's not here
In the
today.
movie?
No, it's a feature about the film. Apparently did some
Oh,
interviews with
yeah,
you.
that, yeah. Well, I grew a beard. It's a really weird-looking beard. It's all white here.
Salt and pepper.
I look like a sort of a Malamute husky cross. I grew it because I couldn't even walk down the street in New York when this Ghostbusters came out. It was like I was the guy that shot Reagan or something. They were like, "Hey, you!" It was like, so I figured I'm going to grow a beard and I went for a whole month. I haven't cut my hair since. I didn't cut my fingernails for about 10 weeks. I was sort of became a mountain man or something. I don't know what was happening.
Has Ghostbusters replaced all the Saturday Night Live questions you used to get now?
Huh? Nobody cares about Saturday Night Live very much anymore.
But they're into Ghostbusters.
Well, it sort of speaks for itself. They don't really have many questions to ask for it. I mean, we did a press thing on Ghostbusters, and nobody really wanted to talk about it. They all wanted to talk about the Razor's Edge then. I did the Razor's Edge interviews on Ghostbusters because they all looked at Ghostbusters and said, "Well, that's that."
What's it going to be like this Halloween when all these kids come to your door trick-or-treating and they're all dressed in Ghostbuster suits and they want to be Bill Murray for Halloween? Is that something frightening? You thought about that yet?
Same old thing. I'll dump a bucket of water on their heads from the second story. I got in a little trouble a few years ago. I came in the door with a hook. I crept out of the shadows with a hook and like a real bad, some prosthetic things on my face, and some kid just freaked out and leapt at me and sort of impaled himself on the hook for a second. His mother was like, "Mr. Murray, was my son hurt by the hook? Let me see." So that ruined my Halloween.
Will there be a Son of Ghostbusters or Ghostbusters 2?
I hope not. I don't think so.
Harold can't get into another one?
Well, I can't get into one. I hope nobody else can. There's a little agitation. They'd like to see another one.
There's not enough money that could make you do it?
No, I wouldn't want to do it for money.
There's not enough money to make you... I mean, they'd start bringing all these trucks full of money over to your home.
Well, now, if you wanted to say, you get to work with...
Michael Jackson.
No, I was thinking maybe the Miami Dolphins cheerleaders.
Okay.
No, I don't think there's enough money to make me do it. It would queer everything to make a movie just for money. I mean, we make them for fun or for something else, but we don't make them for money. Then if I worked with Dan or Harold, we'd all look at each other like, yes, we did kill that little boy and bury him in the woods. We'd always be that little thing. We'd have our little dark secret, and we made it for money.
Well, we are through. We have finished. I like your socks.
These old things? Yeah. Well, what station are you on down there?
WSM,
Is that NBC?
NBC.
Yeah, I know that bird.
That's fine.
So what are they doing now? Isn't Nashville in the baseball team in the finals? Or
They puked out. They did all right. They're usually pretty good, but they didn't make it this year.
I just saw the USA Today.
They made the finals, the playoffs, but they didn't. They got bumped out pretty quick. The Cubs are going to go all the way, though.
Well, that's what I'm doing as soon as I get out of here. I go back to New York for a day or two, and then go to Chicago to get on a league side.
It is going to be fun. I think they'll do it.
Well, I think
They'll have Sutcliffe pitch every game, and we'll be all right.
No, you can't do that. You can't get panic. But if something goes wrong, I think they'll burn down the city.
I think so. They'll be a